That's the problem. This is why you're marketing. Oh, yeah. All right. Good Friday morning, everyone. How y'all doing? There we go. Got a little excitement, man. I guess it must be because of the weather. So today is Friday, March 4th, 2022. And this is your all's Friday morning meeting here at Prime. You guys having a good time? Did you get some good breakfast in? How was breakfast? The way it smells awesome over there. So, yeah, let's give our cafeteria staff, all three locations, a big round of applause. Great job, guys and gals back there working behind the counter and doing all the hard work for us. So, first of all, I'd like to take this up. Let's move it around. We broadcast this as two different terminals, Pittston and Salt Lake. Also, it's on Facebook Live and YouTube Live as well. So this is a live broadcast we got going on. Hopefully I don't screw it up like I did last time, right, Steve? Remember that? Yeah, Steve remembers. So anyway, let's go out to Salt Lake City. Do we got Troy out there? Mr. Troy Rich.
Morning. Good morning from Salt Lake City.
Good morning, Troy. You still get that old crowd of applause piped in there, I see.
We do, yes. Yeah, we do. We can't seem to get enough people out here. Actually, we have a full house here today. We got a lot of I wish I could bring the camera around, like do some interviews and that kind of stuff. It'd be kind of cool. But yeah, we have a good crowd. A whole bunch of drivers here. We have PSDs, A, B, C seats. We got, experienced drivers and brand new people here. So it's a good mix of people in Salt Lake.
Good deal. Also, what do you got going on this week out there? I know you guys do PSC out there. Do you do the pro maintenance yet or not?
No, not doing pro maintenance yet, but we do have the prime safety class. We do that, 3 or 4 times a week, depending on what's necessary, depending on how many people we have coming out. People coming in to upgrade, they need to have the safety class, and we do longs classes. We do it all here for you. So we don't have that pro maintenance yet, though.
You also have that important ACE 2 business class, don't you?
Yeah, we do that. We grab one of our fleet managers. It's usually Justin Walker or John Greenlee, and they'll teach that class for us too.
That's great. Thank you for what you do, man. If you guys have any questions or comments, let us know.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, let's take it out east to Pittston, Pennsylvania. We have Rick out there.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
That is so bad.
That was pretty weak. That was pretty weak. It's the 10 degrees out here. Everybody's kind of lethargic out here.
You are an hour ahead of us. You're about 9 out there, a little after 9. So I get that. A little breakfast's been setting in for a little while. So time to close the eyes.
Yeah. That's what it is.
What's going on in Pittston this week, Rick?
Hey, great class this week. This A, B's, and C's that we had in this week. The pad's doing really well. And yeah, I'm going to mirror what Troy said. We do ACE 2 here. We do a PSC class. We got law classes every day. So if anybody's in this way and they need any of that, come on in. We'll get you taken care of.
No doubt. And I think even our shops tend to be a little bit less busy at your location at Salt Lake as well, from what I hear. So definitely opportunities at all 3 locations here to get your work done if you're a driver. So anything else you want to add?
No, other than the pro maintenance, they are working on that here. I can't give you a date when they're going to start doing that, but it is in the works.
Good to hear. Yeah, we'll get that at both the locations too as well. So if you got any questions, comments, or anything, Rick, make sure you get on the mic, man. We'll get you up.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate you too. Back here to Springfield. Now, how's everybody doing? There we go. A little bit better. I like that. Yes. So like to have take this opportunity. We're talking about all of our new people in orientation, even current drivers too. You guys are all valuable to us. But if you're new here to Prime this week, this is your first week of orientation. If you could stand and be recognized at all 3 terminals, we'd like to give you a round of applause. Good deal. Welcome to Prime. Welcome to our family. We appreciate every one of you. We do consider you family. So, there's some high expectations there. Hopefully you have some high expectations of us as well. And you did your research on us. I know we've done our research on you, and I know you've been through a lot this week, getting those lovely drug tests, physicals, all the orientation, CBTs out of the way, working on that CDL for some of you. That's awesome. And that's just the beginning. So hopefully you enjoy your time here. Remember, if you ever have any questions, make sure you let us know. Definitely bring it up. This morning up here joining me, got Steve Fields. Steve's our safety director. I'm going to turn it over to him for a few minutes. How you doing?
Dave? No, I'd like to welcome everyone to the meeting. As Dave said, we beam it live to Salt Lake and Pittston. We put it on YouTube. We put it on Facebook. But it's really your meeting. We do our best to make them informative. We want people to be excited. Oh, it's Friday morning. The safety meeting's back. If you remember, during COVID, we stopped it for well over a year. Then we came back. Then we had to stop it. But I think we're back for real now. I really do. I think we should probably still follow some protocols with washing our hands, hand sanitizer. We recommend you get the vaccine. It's not required, but we do recommend. Trinity has the vaccine. They have both Moderna and Pfizer down there. They also have the booster. So if you have questions about it, you could see Trinity downstairs after the meeting. And we've got a lot today, so I'm not going to talk too much. I want to echo what Dave said. Welcome our new folks here. We're really, really glad you're here. Growth, and you'll hear about growth. Growth is important to us at Prime. It's important that we grow the company, that we grow it safely, that we grow it logically, and that allows us to offer more possibilities to our customers out there. And so it's so important that we grow. So for our new folks, thank you for being here. For our veteran drivers, and I've seen a lot here today, a lot of drivers that I'm glad made it in. We are going to honor one very special driver today. That we're going to do that towards the end of the meeting. It's going to kind of show you what can happen over the course of 20 or 30 years at Prime. So we're going to bring someone up. We're also going to talk about social media today. And Dennis Davis from the safety department is going to talk about that. I'm not real good with that social media, as most people know, but there's a lot of it out there. And we're going to kind of talk about the right way and the wrong way to utilize social media. We just love it when people are enthusiastic about their career, about their truck, about training folks, about being trained themselves. But there are some good things and bad things. And we're going to talk about those in social media. If you notice the fuel prices, they are going through the roof. And what that really does is that really makes our fuel surcharge program that much more important. So we're going to talk about fuel surcharge today. And certainly anytime anyone has any questions, we want to hear them. Just shoot your hand up. We'll get you on mic there so we can hear your question, because it is important that we listen to what your concerns are. So before we get to our speakers, Dave, you got some safety info for us?
I tell you what, I got a little trivia first to start off. Yeah, nothing better than trivia on a Friday morning. Who can tell me what happened on March 3rd, 1970 here in... Nope, not you, Bill. Okay, go ahead, Bill. What happened? Hold on, get you on the mic. Get over there, Keith. What happened 1970, March 3rd?
Prime was formed in Urbana, Missouri.
There you go, Bill. Congratulations, buddy. You got yourself a Starbucks card. Here, give it to this new guy. What's your name, sir?
Thank you.
You don't like Starbucks? Okay, who likes Starbucks? Somebody's got to have like Starbucks. There we go. We got somebody who raises their hand. He gets it first. Good job, Bill. Thank you. I don't know what that's worth. It says $15 to $500. So it's between that. So yeah, definitely. So it's all yours. So good job. Yes, special day was yesterday. 52 years ago, the company was started. And if you ever want to do a little history on Prime, make sure you look that up, because it's a special story. There's no doubt about it.
March the 3rd, 2010. Had a stroke and a heart attack too.
Oh, well, glad you're back. That's more important. Yeah, no doubt. So, but yes, Robert started the company, and he's still here today. He's got a great management staff that helps him run it. But every day we got Robert in here, and he's always doing something with the company, making decisions. Like I said, our management staff is second to none. There's no doubt about it. We got a great team here, and that's what makes this company run, no doubt. But with his leadership, that's what has built this company. And he's went through a lot, but it's great to work here. Hopefully you all experience that, especially the new ones. Don't leave us. I know trucking is tough, but hang in there. and learn, and you can make a lot of money. There's no doubt, and you can be happy as well. And that's more important sometimes, is just being happy where you work at. So Steve mentioned some safety numbers. I'm gonna get into those real quick because, like you said, we got a pretty busy schedule. This past week, we had 121 DOT inspections. 81 of those were clean, so a 67% clean rate. Thank you for that 67%. We need that clean rate. There's no doubt about it. One area I wanted to talk about our inspections, though, on CSA, unsafe driving. Our top 3 violations: failure to control or failure to obey traffic control device, speeding 6 to 10 over, and lane restrictions. So let's talk about each one of those. Failure to obey traffic control device. Anytime you miss a scale, you may roll through a stop sign. That officer stops you, writes you up on the inspection. He may not give you a ticket, but that affects our CSA scores. It also, more importantly, affects your CSA score. And nobody wants to get points on their CSA scores. It's a direct reflection on the safety side. So remember, know where the scales are. Make sure if you're training out there, you're a trainer, that you go over with your student before they take over driving. Hey, you got a scale coming up at this location. Be prepared to pull in. If you get the green light on your pre-pass, you can go around it. If you get the red light, though, you got to pull in. If you don't know what light you got, you're better off to pull in if they're open. Definitely pull in, make sure you're good. So bottom line, don't miss those scales. Also too, speeding 6 to 10 over. I know our trucks are set at 62 for company, 65 for lease. Most of our speeding violations happen around that 40, 45 mile an hour, usually in construction areas. Don't be thinking you can get 5 to 7 over. An officer will let you roll. Officers will pull you over for that. I know many times in four-wheelers when we're driving our cars, we can get away with that, but not with big trucks. A little higher expectations on your part because you all are professional drivers. And so keep to that speed limit at all times, and you won't be getting stopped for speeding. And like I said, just on the inspection, it may not be a ticket to you, just right up on the inspection, because what that leads to, usually when they stop you, leads to more violations. It gives them an opportunity to, hey, let's inspect your truck, or let's look at your hours of service, so let's do this and that. And it gives them more opportunity to maybe find something. So that's why we don't want to get stopped to begin with. Last one there, lane restrictions. Make sure you're in the proper lane at all times. I know many of these large cities, St. Louis, Kansas City, they got 3, 4, 5 lanes, maybe Chicago. You can only be in the right 2 when you're traveling through those. So don't get off there in that 3rd lane off to the left. Even if you have to pass somebody, legally you're not able to do that in a commercial vehicle in many states. And that's where they'll get us. And once again, they stop you, they can go down the road looking at other stuff on your truck. So good reminders on those. Couple things I want to bring up on the safety side real quick. Do you want to add anything to that? Okay. Right now, the thaw restrictions are coming out. Illinois, Michigan, many states have thaw restrictions. Some roads you'll be able to drive on, you won't be able to. Just remember to look at those and be aware of the thaw restrictions. Yeah, all the interstates you're safe on, but when you get off on some of these smaller state roads, that's where you need to watch out. And they'll have them posted. They have signs up, so be looking for those signs because you don't want to get stopped on a road that there's a thaw restriction on. Michigan just started they call it their trunk line. It's from southern Michigan up to about 2/3 of the way up. Once again, when the ground starts thawing, roads tend to get a little bit soft, and that's why they don't want you on certain highways. They will mark them, but make sure you're looking out for them when you're going to these customers and you're delivering to our customers and picking up our shippers. So Illinois is the same way, so be aware of that. Also, too, stopping on soft shoulders this time of year, be aware. Don't pull over on a dirt shoulder. We've had some rollovers. We've had people get stuck, get a toe out, cost anywhere $500,000 or more, and you don't want to go down that path. That's a lot of money out of your pocket. You work too hard for, so don't go. Watch where you're stopping out on the shoulders. Try to stop in the rest areas, things like that. Obviously, you're broken down. You may not have too much of a choice, but if you can get to an area looks more solid than others, that's what you want to do. So, any questions on any of these that we can answer? Nothing?
You got it easy, Dave?
You want to chime in on anything?
You got it.
Okay, man. Well, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Appreciate that. know, we talked about we were going to go to social media, and when Dave was talking, I was thinking there, you know, on occasion, I like to travel, and like 15 years ago, you know, I'd watch the Travel Channel. I'd watch guys like Anthony Bourdain and Andrew Zimmern and Samantha Brown. They were on TV, you know, and that, I had to wait for them. But over time, it's become just folks with a smartphone that are out there. You may not have heard of them, but myself and Sam Messick, we follow a guy named Mark Weens who travels the world making videos on his own. He has 8 million subscribers. He's probably getting close to 9 million subscribers. And those guys that were on the Travel Channel, I don't even know where they are. You know, anyone can make their own channel right now, and shows you how powerful social media is. And we have a great social media presence here, and we're going to talk a little bit about it and maybe kind of, you know, just give you a few thoughts on, you know, what's the right way to do social media and what maybe needs to be improved a little bit. So I'm going to ask Dennis Davis to come up. Dennis is one of our safety supervisors. He worked in our operations department for 15 or so years, started as an intern, went to nights, went to days, and really, you know, the operations folks, they said, Steve, could you take Dennis under your wing? He needs some help. So I brought Dennis to the safety department. I'm just kidding. He does a great job for us. He really relates to our drivers, and he's got a very special driver with us today, and probably a lot of you know who it is. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Dennis, and your guest.
All right. Good morning. Thank you, Steve.
Yes,
My
sir.
name is Dennis Davis, and I work in the safety department. Today, we're going to play a little bit of participation game to get started. You know, Steve kind of gave us a little prelude of what we're going to talk about, but I want to see exactly how far and how deep the impact is. I want everybody here in Springfield and even at our other terminals, you know, if you have been a driver associate at Prime for 2 years or less, raise your hand. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy. All right. Good portion of the room. Now, in that right before you came to Prime, you know, how many of you did some research and ventured out onto social media to get some of your information about which trucking company would be best for you? Raise your hand. A few hands are going up. And, you know, of doing that research, how many of you went to like YouTube and Facebook? Well, we'll talk about YouTube first. We went to YouTube and, you know, saw some drivers that, you know, worked at Prime, maybe some drivers that had left Prime, you know, as well as other companies, and just to kind of get some real world. We want, you know, not what the recruiter's saying, not what the bald head guy in safety is saying. I want to know what that driver that worked for them is saying. How many of you purposely went out and did that? All right. Now, the other part is how many of you are on Facebook and involved in some type of group that claims to be associated with Prime, but not really. They may even have Prime in the name, but it's not. But it's just a bunch of drivers, maybe even some Prime drivers. How many of you are part of groups like that? You know, share information, pictures, stories, you know, advice, good, better, and different. You know, all those things are out there. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can begin the process of starting to catch up and do our best to, you know, I hate to use the word monitor because that's not what our goal is. You know, we don't want to tell you what to do with your content or tell you what, you know, where to go to get your content. You know, Prime has a social media presence, and, you know, we got Mitch and Amy over here who handle that, but there's also a ton of other stuff that are just trucking related that a lot of Prime drivers are involved in. So now the last question is how many of you are your own content creators? I see one person. Two, now come on, be honest. You know, some of us are content creators, and, you know, we may only have 3 followers, your mom, your dad, and your sister, you know, but there's some folks out there that are content creators and are passionate about sharing, you know, their experience at whatever they're doing, whether they're, like Steve mentioned, traveling, or whether they've gotten a new job or are coming into a new industry like trucking and they want to chronicle what they're doing. All right. It's not my deal. You know, I don't like people in my business like that, you know, but I understand that a lot of people are like that. You know, my son's 10 years old. He told me, Dad, I want a YouTube channel. Like, well, you want to tell people how you learn how to read? I don't understand what the content is, but I love it because the folks that are producing that content, they are some of the best recruiters we have. You know, they go out and they show you honest information. They show you real world what you're going to be doing in those videos that they produce. So we want to Make sure that we address, what we think is a good idea when it comes to producing these videos or even being your own content creator. And, listening to me, yeah, okay. But we've got an expert here. So I'm going to ask Junior to come on up. This is Junior Honduras. He needs no introduction. I bet you everybody in the room knows who Junior is. All right. And if you don't, I'm going to tell you who he is. All right. First and foremost, he's one of our best lease operators and small fleet owners, right?
Thank you.
All right. Next, let me go through your stats, man.
I see you guys.
I was on your YouTube channel this morning. So you've got over 99,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
All right. You've got over 750 videos available right now to view.
I didn't know that.
All right. You started here as a PSD student, like some of these folks out here back in 2011. Is that right?
That is right.
All right. And I went through some of your videos to check out what type of content you have. Okay. So you've got content from everything, including how to read bills of lading for our live loaded call folks. You can go right here to Junior to get that information. He's talked about Sam Messick. Junior has videos on fuel economy, which we're going to talk about a little bit later on today. Junior has videos that can explain to you how to back into a dock. Junior has a video on what to do if you get locked out of your truck or locked out of a Freightliner. He has videos on how to grease your fifth wheel. He has information on what to do when you're wanting to sell your truck. He even got information on what you want to do if you want to buy a truck. Junior's got information about, some of the drivers in here. He's interviewed drivers, some current, some not.
Yeah.
All right. He's got interviews with other content creators, folks out there, not just prime drivers, other folks in the industry that are creating their own content, just like Junior is. He's got interviews with those folks too. He's got multiple live Q&A sessions where folks can get on live and communicate with Junior and your favorite recruiter, who is
Nikki Yost.
Right away.
Nikki Yost.
Right away. This is all the content that Junior has. So when you hear folks out there that says Prime snubs their nose at you creating content, absolutely not. We love it. And one of the most important things that we like that you do is what? Recruit.
I'm gonna say be safe.
Well, that's two. But from a content standpoint, you recruit. Just off the top of your head, how many drivers you think you've recruited to Prime?
Couple hundred. I'm not sure really.
Couple. That's
something that people ask me, and it's not something I keep track of, and because I'm just doing it naturally from heart. And if they come here, thank you for the people that have put me down as a referral. But honestly, I don't keep track of that stuff because I'm out there working, training, and doing all that stuff. So, but I want to give a chance to thank everybody that's put me down as a referral now. But again, I don't keep track of those numbers.
Absolutely. So before we get too deep into the Q&A, because I got a lot of questions for you, tell us, I talked about you came to Prime in 2011 as a PSD student. What did you do before you came to Prime?
I was a plant manager at an architecture molding company. I don't know if you ever noticed the moldings outside the buildings that look like concrete. That's just styrofoam coated with concrete. So that's what I used to run. I used to run that plant.
Okay. And what made you to decide to come to trucking first and then Prime second?
Well, I used to always had CDL in the back of my mind as a plan B for anything I wanted to do for my family and my kids. And I used to work at Tropicana over in Bradenton. I used to be a loader. I used to load the trucks. I was always seen Prime there, always seen Prime. And that was one of the companies I looked into when I got laid off. So I got laid off and I said, this is my opportunity to get my CDL and make this happen. I told the wife, she was like, all right, let's do it, because your significant other, your wife, husband, they have to be on board. They have to be on board. So I did that. I applied, and here I am.
So what made you decide Prime specifically? Because I'm sure you had other options.
That's a good question. And this is something that I always ask people too. And you have to choose the company that best suits you for your needs and your wants. I say that all the time. Prime, it was the training and the pay at that particular time. I looked at CR England and I looked at Stevens, and I'm glad I came here.
Came here. We're glad you're here too. Now you came here.
got your CDL, did a little bit of driving. You even got you're doing some training. But now let's cross over. And what got you into the content creator role that you're playing for yourself?
Wow. If you would have asked me this back then, I would have said I'm never doing videos. I'm a shy person. Believe it or not, I am.
Me too.
So I don't know. I had one student and I started recording the student doing his pre-trip and thinking, well, instead of, doing it over and over and then kind of repeating what he was messing up and missing, I kind of recorded it and had him watch it himself so he can see it from my point of view. And then not just feel that I was just on top of his case about not doing this or not doing that. So it started off like that. I remember the first video I did, we were at a dock in Albert Organics in New Jersey. And I think it was one of the first videos I recorded with him. And then it went on from there. And then I said, well, let's record it. And I tell the students, we're going to record it for you to kind of re-watch it and your family to see what you guys are doing out here. Because when I first came out here, my wife thought I was traveling and sightseeing and all this stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm working, and maybe other families thought the same thing when their significant others or families came out here to get their CDL. So I said, let's do this for your family. Maybe somebody else possibly learn something from this.
Absolutely. So, my high school football coach had that same mindset. Hey, let me record what you're doing wrong so I can show everybody and tell you, hence that's why I work here in the office. But, when you talk about the videos that you make, and I ran off a list of a lot of the things that you do and, just doing, kind of a little bit of background research to do this morning, it's more than just going out and recruiting and telling folks that, hey, come to Prime. Prime is awesome. Use me as your recruiter. One of my favorite videos that you did was a short, and you had a picture of your GPS, all right, and you were talking about how you can't just solely rely on GPS. You also had your map out. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about that video.
What happened was I had a student on the truck, and I have a GPS just to make the truck look good. I don't use it. I'm old school, if you want to call me that. I still use an atlas. I still teach how to read an atlas. So my student and I were going through, I think it was South Carolina, and it's telling me to go some highway on the GPS because we verified the macro 19 directions to the GPS and then compare it to the atlas. Well, doing my job like I'm supposed to as a trainer, we looked at the atlas and it wasn't highlighted a truck route. And I told my student, this is an example of why you don't follow the GPS. And you cross-reference the information that you get, that you have. I mean, even the Qualcomm GPS, I don't care how much of a truck a GPS it is, it's still going to take you the wrong route. So, and that was one of those examples where it almost did. Had I gone to bed and said, all right, just follow GPS, do your thing, and he would have messed up and possibly got a ticket. Because at that point, if you're a TNT student, it's on you.
Absolutely. So let's get into the content creation, And I for a long time in life, I journaled, at the end of every day, I would write down, kind of what I went through that day, what my thought process was, what my emotions were, and that's kind of transcended into this generation's content creation. It's the same mindset. You talk to folks about, what your life experience is, what you're going through, what you're doing on your job. It's the same thing. And folks are genuinely interested in watching these videos because potentially they could be going into the same field or having that same experience that you're doing. Kind of, is that how you see it a little bit?
Yeah. It's when I first came and started the CDL driving and stuff, I thought YouTube was just for music videos. I didn't watch YouTube at all. I didn't know that it could be done like this or this was possible. So I think it's a good thing to kind of see what it's like to be out there because driving a truck and getting your CDL, it's a whole different lifestyle. And you do things out here you never thought you would do, good and bad. So that's how I see it. When people watch YouTube videos, to see what it's going to be like.
Awesome. So, I've gushed and glamored, everything that you do. We always appreciate you being here talking to us. But we also, we are the safety department. So we want to make sure that everybody understands what our mindset is when it comes to creating this content. We want to make sure that we absolutely do it the right way. And, one of the reasons that this came up and folks wanted us to get this out, this is live, it's recorded. It's because folks are attempting to create this content, one, as trainees, two, while they're driving down the road. Okay. And as glamorous as I've made this seem, and these videos are valuable, we cannot, under any circumstance, strap on a phone on our chest or a camera on our head, whatever the product is, and give content to that device or the people that we think are watching while we're trying to, one, learn how to operate an 80,000-pound vehicle and learn the trade. All right. Steve Field always talks about no matter what the weather is, whether it's, sunny and 70 or whether it's inclement weather, focus is one of the most important things. And if you're on the phone, if you're texting, if you're fidgeting with the, Qualcomm radio, heat, food, whatever you got going on in the truck, you're not 100% focused on what you're doing. You're not keeping your head on the swivel. You're not looking ahead in traffic. You're not paying attention to what's going on around you. What you're doing is you're attempting to create content. All right. You can't do that, and you can't do that safely. And we've had some folks, unfortunately, lose their opportunity here at Prime, which we, of course, think is a great company because they're doing this. And all right. And then the other part is when they're asked to stop doing it, they don't. All right. But with that being said, we want to make sure that everybody that wants to do this knows the right way to do it. So, a lot of Junior's content, he's standing outside of the truck. He's, I think there was one video where you were showing how to back in, which I think is an awesome video. Nothing was in your hand. It was mounted. Yeah. You're not driving down the road. You're showing some maneuvers inside of a dock. But if somebody is absolutely, dead set on wanting to create some content with them driving down the road, let me tell you how to do it. All right. And I even saw one of Junior's videos like this. All right. He's got a dash camera, a forward-facing dash camera that shows the road. All right. It's not attached to him. He's not talking to it. All right. But what happens is after the shift is over and we stop, and I'm not this tech savvy, but you can go back and add your content later. Yeah. You can say, hey, this is where I was. This is what I did. These are the signs that I saw. No different than what we do when we create training videos.
That is correct. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, guys. And, driving down the road, recording, facing you. If you're talking one way or another, you're talking to the camera. And, I don't care how long you've been here. It should be done. Nobody is perfect. Things can happen, and God forbid something did happen. So, I think the best time to do it is when the shift is done or the truck is parked. Really, I mean, if you want to create content, there's a time and place for everything. I say that all the time. There's a time and place for everything, and driving is not one of those. Content creating while driving.
If you don't take anything from this whole spiel, that's it right there. No content creating while driving. So, we're going to open the floor up for questions. But before we do that, I'm going to let you give your shameless plug. Tell folks how to follow you, how to find you.
Well, you can follow me on YouTube at Junior Honduras, Facebook, Junior Honduras, and Instagram, Junior Honduras. I have a Snapchat, but it's hard to use that. My kids know how to use more than that. Use that more than I do.
So, you've marketed the name Junior Honduras, right?
That's right.
Good deal. So, Junior, I appreciate you being here. If you're okay answering some questions.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for Junior while we're out here? We'll start right in the back. Keith McCoy.
You've been referring since you got your CDL, got your truck. Do you have an estimate of what your earnings have been during that time for your referrals?
I have no idea. And the people that watch my videos will know I have no idea because I don't talk money on my channel.
I think somebody knows. This is Brienne from our IT department.
Hello. I want to shameless plug myself here and say this week in the My Prime app, we added a My Referrals section where you can actually see all of your referrals and you can add it up week, month, and lifetime, how much you've been paid for each one of your referrals. So just new this week.
Wow, I guess I have to look at that then.
And just to show you how wide ranging, Junior is with his content, Brienne is the star of one of his videos. She talked about about a year ago, we started getting some scammers out there thinking that, Steve Field was calling them asking for their social security number, and that wasn't the case. So we made sure you got Brienne on there and got her taken care of. So anybody else have any questions? Of course, at our other terminals as well. None?
Oh man, I thought I was good.
Where I don't. Oh, okay. Gentleman in the red. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. I apologize. This isn't directly to Junior, so I apologize to you, sir. You do great content. Okay, I want to give you that feedback. It's more to the staff here at Prime. And if you follow the Facebook pages that are variously associated with Prime, but not, there's an awful lot of questions that are asked on those forums. And there's often a lot of questions that are deleted from those forums because people are scrabbling around trying to find the answers. I'm going to ask a question. How many of the IT or in-house folks follow those forums where you see these questions, if you don't mind me asking?
No, we don't mind you asking at all. And, first I'll say that, all of those, for lack of a better term, outside groups and chat type situations, they're not affiliated with Prime. Now, Prime folks may be in it. Prime folks may talk about Prime related issues. That's not us. Ours is specifically branded and it is, obvious that is ours. Now, are we out there watching? I'm sure some folks are, and I'm in a few of the groups myself. I've never commented or liked or anything like that. I just want to see what the folks are talking about. And one of my biggest pet peeves that I cringe about is that what you're talking about. We've got, especially newer drivers that are putting information out there, questions out there that, believe it or not, Robert has hired somebody and paid them to answer that question for you, whether it's a maintenance related question, whether it's an operations related question, whether it's a payroll related question. Instead of going to the paid expert, we go to the masses. And when we put it out to the masses, we get massively wrong answers. There may be some good nuggets in there from time to time, but most of those answers are going to be way off. People are going to respond rudely, and what it does is it gives a negative image of, one, the industry, two, specifically Prime associates and Prime drivers. So, to answer your question, yes, I'm pretty sure some Prime folks are out there lurking. Two, we definitely want you to channel that question, especially if it's Prime specific, to the folks that are professionally paid to give you that answer. So I think.
Is it possible an in-house associate with the knowledge, looking at the question, being scrambled around, if you will, and it's a lot of yes, a lot of high noise.
I apologize. I'm going to say all this all over again because they handed me the mic again. I apologize. Is it possible for that in-house associate with the knowledge to post a link, to post an answer, to post, hey, by the way, this is your resource. Go call your RA, go call your FM. They're going to give you your number one and number two answer. Call safety. Make yourself available to those resources. Could we do that?
Mitch is going to jump in.
Yeah, I can answer a little bit of that real quick. So on those outside pages, because even though it says, priming, keeping it cool, or those groups like that, yes, we're watching to make sure it doesn't get too negative. But at the end of the day, we don't own those groups. And in some of those, we aren't admin to be able to edit the posts that are in there. Now, there are a lot of great options if you need a question answered. One, and this is another Brienne plug here, she created a Ask Prime section in the Prime mobile app. So you can go on there, ask a question in there. Another option would be to send us a message on the actual Prime Facebook page, or reach out to your fleet manager, say, hey, who's the subject matter expert on this? 90% of the time, they're going to be able to send you the right direction. If not, another option would be shoot us an email, communications@primeinc.com, and I can put that out on Facebook and YouTube right now. But there are many ways that you can get questions answered, but those outside groups are never going to be the best way to get an actual prime answer.
Excellent. So we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to give Junior our last word. I see we got some questions. Everybody has a question. Junior and I will be standing over here to address those questions. Close us out.
All
For
right,
this
guys,
section.
just, be safe, treat others like you want to be treated, and think about others when you're, doing this content creation, because if you're out there doing it while you're driving, so many things can happen. So just park the truck, record it, and then post it. Don't do it while you're driving.
Absolutely. Thanks, Junior. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Well, that's a lot of good information there. We're super proud of Junior and all our folks that put content out there. It just says a lot about our company that, on his off time, Junior's taking the time and the effort to put that out there to help others, to give to the next generation of truckers. So certainly thank you, Junior, for being up here. Our next topic we talked about, we're going to probably have to go a little faster than we would like, but that's okay. So I'm going to ask Sam Messick from our accounting department to come up. That's also our fuel manager, and Jim Guthrie, our director of operations in the reefer division. We talked early in the meeting about the price of fuel and just obviously what's happening to it and how important our fuel surcharge program is. So both Sam and Jim are going to talk about that here for a few minutes.
Morning. Good morning. Well, Sam's going to kind of explain how our fuel surcharge guarantee mechanism works, and then we're going to kind of talk about some of these numbers and how they impact your business. So go ahead.
So thank you, Jim. We've been getting a lot of questions this week, and rightfully so. We've seen honestly what are historical increases in fuel prices this week and diesel prices. I was just looking this morning. Week over week, we're up 60, 70 cents in some regions of the country. The price that a lot of these retailers are paying for fuel is up $1 a gallon in a lot of the country. So huge increases. One of the questions that we got a lot this week was, hey, why is fuel surcharge not going up in correlation to that? And the answer is it is. It's just a little bit delayed compared to the pump prices, right? So fuel surcharge guarantee here at Prime is based off of the prior week's fuel cost. And we do that simply because that's the best way to do it. That's how EIA posts their fuel numbers once a week. We use a once a week fuel price for our fuel surcharge calculation. So this current week fuel guarantee that you're getting paid, if you're an independent contractor here at Prime, is based off of last week's fuel prices. In the coming week, so this coming week, your fuel surcharge will be based off of fuel prices this week. So I was just doing some estimates this morning based off of what fuel prices have done so far this week. It looks like fuel surcharge will be up about 10% next week, which is massive. Huge increases. So hopefully that adds a little bit of color as to why fuel surcharge isn't up this week. Fuel prices were actually down last week. They're obviously way up this week. Fuel surcharge will be way up next week.
So, one of the things that I wanted to highlight, Sam, talk about what our discounts are. If you're in the Prime fleet, what's your fuel discount off the pump price on average? Because that's a huge number, very important to realize the impact that our buying power has for each of your businesses. So
today on average, our discount off of cash price, not credit price, but off of cash price across our entire network is 55 to 60 cents a gallon. That fluctuates depending on if diesel prices are going up or going down. But right now it's about 55 to 60 cents a gallon. If prices are going down across the country, we'll see that go as high as $1.10 a gallon. But really solid, really large discounts that hopefully you're able to take advantage of.
So, the message here is when this fuel surcharge or when the fuel prices start to increase, and they're increasing drastically right now, the message here is you got to be aligned with the right partner, and Prime buys fuel better than anybody in the industry, or as good as anybody in the industry, if not better. And so whenever fuel costs go up, the price at the pump goes up. You ask around to some of our experienced operators that pay really good attention to their net fuel cost, because a lot of what we see is whenever fuel prices go up, those who are buying it well and those who are running their truck well, reducing their idle time, watching their speeds, those people, their fuel cost, net fuel cost, the net number that you pay tends to decrease. In some cases, it even decreases below zero. So for example, if you're running 3,000 miles a week at a 10 cent per mile net fuel cost, and a truck next to you is running 3,000 miles a week at a 30 cent per mile net fuel cost, 20 cents a mile difference that one driver is paying versus another, that's $600 a week, right? So that's a significant number. And the power of our fuel surcharge program is such that if you buy fuel well and you watch your speeds and idle time and do everything you can to utilize that fuel well, the fuel surcharge that we provide, or our customers provide through our fuel surcharge program, is a major benefit to you and your business on a day-to-day and week-to-week basis. So whenever fuel costs rise, whenever you're aligned with Prime, it's not really any reason to panic. In fact, in some cases, many of our operators start to get pretty excited because they know that they can make some money on this fuel surcharge program.
Yeah, if you're getting more than 7 miles per gallon, high fuel prices are a great thing for your operation. And that's across all operators, guaranteed. So make sure you're getting more than 7 miles per gallon as far as efficiency of your unit. And I promise you, these high fuel prices will help you increase your profitability significantly. Especially, I was just looking this morning at $3.75 a gallon. If you're doing six and a half miles per gallon, your net fuel cost, if you're running 2,000 miles a week, which hopefully would be a low number, but you're talking $365 net fuel cost a week. If you're running 9.5 miles per gallon, you're at 90 cents net fuel cost per week. So basically, you're paying nothing for your fuel. That's $17,000 difference, right? In this type of an environment, between running at a 6.5 mile per gallon rate and a 9.5 mile per gallon rate. So efficiency matters all the time. It's exponential when fuel costs are what they are today.
That number you just recited is 90 cents. That's less than $1 that you spent out of your pocket total for a week's worth of fuel. That's
and we're going to be
number.
at about $3.65 this week in fuel cost per gallon. So,
last week we paid out to our operators just right at $5.7 million in fuel surcharge, and that number is going to go up. Last week was a record number. Next week it's going to be even bigger. So, really important as an operator to really watch how you're buying fuel. First of all, using the fuel optimization efficiently, and then secondly, how you're using that fuel that you buy. Question, Keith?
Yeah, Sam, some of our competitors, when they're negotiating these discounts, they tend to take a little bit of a cut of the discount for the company to make a little bit of a profit
Yeah.
off that discount. So what's Prime program like with that?
So Prime keeps none of your discounts. We pass along 100% of the discount if you're an independent contractor for Prime. One of the other things, Keith, that I was thinking about this morning is we give you 100% of the diesel discount, but a lot of the time, some of these other fleets don't get any discounts on things like DEF. If they do, they give you a very minimal piece of it. And, we're getting $1.25 a gallon at Pilot Flying J discount on DEF. So big numbers, and definitely we keep none of it. Robert passes 100% of those savings on to you.
That's a super important distinction. Thanks, Keith, for mentioning that. If you're aligned with Prime, you get all those discounts 100%, and we buy with our buying power, as good or better than anybody. So those of you that have friends that are aligned with others and they've got their trucks and they need a better place to hitch their wagon to whenever fuel's this high, tell them what you're paying for fuel and what your net fuel cost is. Have them come to Prime, come and check it out. While I'm up here, another question.
Yeah, I have a question on the fuel solution. So if you go into Illinois to maybe Wyoming or whatever, that fuel solution doesn't take you all the way, but in the middle where you need to still fuel up in between.
I'll come talk to you after the meeting and we'll dig into it and see what's going on. But otherwise, thank you all very much. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. Hey, real quick while I'm up here on I want to talk about a couple things in the reefer area. I mentioned it a couple weeks ago, but I want to reinforce it again. Really important to check your bills, check your product that you're hauling. Whenever you're doing the live loaded, when you're doing your live loaded call process, please take that very seriously. It's a very critical aspect of your business. That's for your protection to evaluate what the temperature is on your bills, what the product is you're hauling, how we need to protect that, where it's going, what the address is. All those things are details that need to be locked down on every load throughout the live loaded call process. So please remember every load, safety is always number one. Right outside of safety, we've got security and cargo integrity. Protect that cargo. Once you sign those bills, it's your product. You need to make sure that it arrives at the destination in the exact same manner that it left the shipper. Very important, so please remember to do that. It's good to see a lot of people in here this morning, and especially all you new folks. So appreciate all you do. Everybody be safe, and thanks for the time this morning, Steve.
Super. Thank you, Jim.
Couple of tins there, Steve, right there.
Absolutely. And thank you, Sam. And, we did have to go a little quicker than we would have liked on the fuel surcharge. Fortunately, Sam Messick sits right up by me in the Z building on the main floor. So if you have a question and you're not sure where to find Sam, come find myself or Dave or Dennis, Bill, and we'll get you over to Sam to get you an answer for it. He's extremely knowledgeable. And just quickly, before we get to the last thing, I just got to say this, and we're not up here. This is not a Prime commercial, these meetings, but sometimes our enthusiasm for the company just comes out. And there was one thing that I'm not sure everyone caught with Junior up here. Junior started as a PSD. So he came here with no trucking experience, no truck, and went through our training program. And how many trucks do you have now, Junior? 4. He's got 4 trucks now that he operates, that he has drivers for. You talk about an opportunity, he's taken advantage of many of the programs that we have here. Our training program, our ability to train others, your ability to start a small fleet. That's truly how Prime started. Dave mentioned it. Prime's 52 years and 1 day old today. Maybe in 50 years, Junior, maybe you'll have 7,000 trucks. I think you got the right attitude for it. So I did just want to mention that on Junior. Okay, final thing we're going to do today. Are you ready, Wayne? And please hope you bring Tina up with you. We've got a very special presentation today. And Raleigh, you guys ready? We're going to, my predecessor, Don Lacey, about 26 years ago, started our 1,000,000 program here. And really, it started kind of small. It took a while to get going, but what we found through keeping our drivers, through lowering turnover, being safer, the program has just grown like crazy. And we're real fortunate today to have our newest member of our 3 million Safe Mile Club. So I'd like to go ahead and introduce everyone to Wayne Asher and his wife, Tina, and their fleet manager, Raleigh. And talk about a partnership. Raleigh and Wayne have been together now since 2014, I believe. So, they've been working together now, I guess, on 8 or 9 years. So I'm going to turn my mic over to Raleigh for a minute to talk about a few different things. And then I've got a few questions for Wayne as well. So here we go. Keep going.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Raleigh Kendall. I'm fleet manager at Prime. And I'd like to introduce you to Wayne Asher. This is his wife, Tina. He's been running with Scotty Chapman since 2011. Scotty's not able to make it this morning. Wayne has been here since 1994, and Scott since 2011. Their customer service is reflective of the quality of work they give each day. Wayne has a diamond ring with 25 diamonds. He also has served on both the driver advisory and customer advisory boards. They just recently succeeded in reaching their goal of 3 million miler. That's incredible. That's 7 years of no preventable accidents per each million mile. This is an incredible feat. Their safety record is second to none. They run coast to coast, so they're not shy on miles. Driving habits and their focus on safety proves exemplary performance. Since 2017, this is an incredible number. Since 2017, they have had only 6 critical events in over 922,000 miles in 2 different trucks. It's incredible. In the last 530,000 miles, their driving fuel mileage average is 9.74 miles per gallon. And speaking of net fuel cost, during that time, 0.048 cents per mile. Their focus is definitely on fuel and safety.
That's awesome.
It's a privilege to work with both these drivers. And of course, Tina is, a big support, of this business. So she's a big part of it as well. They show that success, profit, and safe driving are all part of the same formula. The quality of work is incredible. But even beyond that, their attitude and heart is even more amazing. God has truly blessed us having them here, part of the Prime family. Thank you.
Ronnie, congratulations to you too. Wayne, thank you. Now, y'all wouldn't know this, but I'm going to share it with you. Wayne's actually gone on some company calls with me, some sales calls, because he has picked up and delivered at nearly every location that we serve in our network. And some of our customers wanted to get together and talk about how they could be a shipper of choice and how they could do things better. And actually, Wayne did a terrific job for us. He's not shy of the microphone, so we'll have to get it away from him, pry it away from him. But Wayne, go ahead and share your thoughts with your time here, would you?
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Robert. All you people, everybody here helped this day happen for us, and we're very thankful. We appreciate all you folks being here today, especially our new people. We want to welcome you aboard. We're just real proud to have you, and I want to tell you that you have chosen the right place at the right time. It's a good time to be Prime, and we're very thankful, Tina and I, and our kids and our grandkids, for our brand. We're proud of it. We're very proud of Prime, and we have similar goals, and we want to invite you to all, do the right thing, be honest, serve our customers, be proud of them because they pay us and they deserve it. Clean the trailer up, clean the truck up, look real sharp, and be true to your country, true to the flag, and true to your family, and be proud of our brand. And we just want to say thank all of you.
Wayne, thank you, man. What a special guy. Now, what did you say that net fuel cost per mile was? What was his net fuel cost per mile?
0.48 cents per mile.
0.48. Back in like the early 70s, fuel. Yeah, I date myself, but we were paying like 18 cents a gallon in Wyoming for fuel, and my fuel cost then was like 25 cents a mile. I mean, go figure. Fuel's a lot cheaper, but our cost was a lot more. And that's quite an accomplishment. Your safety record is exemplary. We're so proud of you. Wayne is not just a good truck driver. He and Tina are great people. And we are so proud to be associated with you. Wayne's a veteran. All our vets in the room, stand up and let us recognize you.
For your service. Stand up. Stand up. Thank you.
We love our vets. Wayne, we certainly love and appreciate you. I have a little token of our appreciation right here. I'm going to give this to Tina. But we appreciate you so much.
Now, Wayne, let me ask you one other thing, and maybe Raleigh mentioned it, but Scott Chapman's been with you how long?
It was 10 years.
10 years. He's ran as your co-driver for 10 years. I expect sometimes you get a little time off and he runs for you. Is that the way that might work?
No, we take off and go fishing.
Oh, yeah, he just gets out there and goes too. Well, from all of our customers and all of our salespeople and all of our safety people, we want to thank you for everything you've done. Thank you, Tina. Thanks, Wayne. So, we should really one more time ought to congratulate Robert. He had a birthday yesterday here 52 years ago. He started this thing. Does that sound right, 52?
Yeah. I was just a few years old when I started.
Yes, you were.
Just
aged
could
pretty well.
barely reach those pedals. You know what I'm saying, Willie Bill? Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
So we covered some good things today. This social media thing, I know we've got people on it constantly. Man, you can see about anything out there you're really looking for. I was stumbling across one last night. This is kind of interesting. I'll let you answer it, Robert. This guy who said his trainer told him that when he gets to $1.89 a mile, that we cut him off. He can't get no more. That's his cap. $1.89 a mile is all he can make on his revenue.
So I don't suppose this guy's a brain surgeon or anything really like that.
No.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is my 28%, we split the revenue 72-28. And so would my 28% be greater as he went on from $1.89 up to $2 or $3 or $5?
That's a simple math question. So you're capping your own earnings is what you're telling me, right?
Oh yeah, I love those caps. I love to beat myself up like that.
Yeah.
No, folks, this place wasn't built with smoke and mirrors. We did it hauling freight safely and on time and charging our customers fairly. But, let's be honest, we want to charge them because you all make tremendous sacrifices and you deserve it. So we do charge them. We're proud of that. We deserve it. We're proud of it. We're providing capacity. We have all kinds of features, but you probably have some customers listening, and they would affirm what I'm saying is that we charge them fairly, but we are proud of our service, and we don't shrink from that statement at all.
Now, Robert, one other thing I want all of our operators to know. We had our very inaugural tech advisory board yesterday. So what does that mean to you all? Well, you all that pull your trucks and equipment through our shops, all of our techs from, not all of them, but up in Pittston and Salt Lake City, we brought some techs in here. We used our techs here in Springfield, and they're trying to find better ways, quicker ways, more efficient ways to serve you all when you bring your trucks in. It was very enlightening. I feel like it was really interesting. We kind of cribbed off of our driver advisory board from the prior week, which, we got some really good information on that as well. So I just want you to know, while we think we're pretty good in some ways, we know we can get a lot better. And you all can make us better by sharing information. So thank you, Robert. Appreciate you 52 years ago coming up with this idea. It's been a pretty good ride. Thank you.
It's been a great ride. Thank you, Steve. He's got his faults. I'm still working on it. He's been here, I don't know, 37 years, something like that.
I won't make another one. I don't know.
And he may not make another one. It just depends on, he's got to produce. You know what I'm saying? Now, we don't want those cheap rates.
No. We want those big Magnum rates.
Yeah, we do. And you do a good job, Steve. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Folks, our new folks, they're here. You're family now. Don't try to run off and go someplace. I'm going to come looking for you. I'm going to find you and have to fetch you back here. We need our drivers. We want to step in there and take advantage of this marketplace because it's very strong. Steve would say it's very robust. We get the business now, we can hang on to it. It's very sticky because customers get a taste of our service, our drivers, our equipment, what all the things we provide, what Brianne provides as far as technology. They like it and the business sticks. I mean, eventually the pendulum swings, right? The pendulum will swing. Freight rates will do whatever they do. But the better job we do and the more we capture now when they really need us, the more we'll hang on to. And that's our objective in this market right now that we're in, is to garner more, better business, flesh out our network, reduce our dead-end miles, and improve our driver's earnings.
Now, Robert, we didn't tell Wayne to say this, but he mentioned it, the powerful Prime brand that has been created by our operators and their service and our culture here at Prime. So it's the real deal. Wayne lives it. We didn't ask him to say that. I hope you all feel the same that have been here for some time. Thomas Miller was also over at our tech advisory board yesterday representing the driver group. And of course, he knows our culture very well, as do many of our experienced drivers. So thank you again.
Yeah. Folks, thank you all. It's springtime out there, right? It's nice. Yeah, we're going to do some trucking in this kind of weather. Appreciate y'all. God bless each of you and please be safe.
Thanks, Robert.